Hello, this is Matt, and free advice is usually worth exactly what you pay for it, which is nothing. But today, I want you to empty your pockets, put your coins on the table, because today I'm going to get you your money's worth. So, you've heard about the mentor, mentee, sensei, student, coach, player, journeyman, apprentice. And with everybody ready and willing to tell you what to do, you must filter through the advice. There's an overabundance of information, but we can't really absorb it. It's all just sound bites of information with no digestion. In our world today, we are overinformed with no knowledge. So I love YouTube because we don't have an instructor. We are a room full of practitioners. And this mentor program is based on collaborating with the other people on YouTube. In this community, we're learning from each other, we're interacting, and basically you are a mentor. Whether you know it or not, you're a mentor to somebody, and you're a mentee as you watch and absorb information. Because the best way is for somebody that is interested in learning to try to teach it. I'm going to learn more by trying to figure out how to explain coins just by going through this process. So that's what I'm recommending. Anytime you're looking for a mentor or a coach or a teacher, find somebody that's an active participant that is growing themselves also. Because again, the best way to understand it is to try to explain it to somebody else. So in 2015, I purchased fake silver dollars. That's how my journey started. And I was just vulnerable, right? I was vulnerable, ignorant, just out of my mind to even be trying to buy silver, not knowing anything. But that taught me to go to YouTube and go to books, find mentors. And I kind of was secretive about it because coin collecting is kind of nerdy, right? There's very few people in the real world that like it. So I started watching coin channels, and I was just an eager student ready to learn something from everybody. So if you're a brand new collector and I'm talking to you, I'm going to show you something like this. And I'm going to say there's many different paths you can go, but the best place to start would be cents. So we're talking about cents or pennies. And the recommendation is just to go get a box from the bank. $25 box and hunt copper. You're looking at 1982 transition, but mainly 1982, there's a lot of copper, and prior, sort those out. If you find any from 1958 and prior, those are called wheat pennies. And then 1909 and prior, you have the Indian head pennies. It's just an amazing denomination to search for cents. And I consider that dabbling. That's just basically trying to see if you're interested in coins. The next step up would be nickels. So with nickels, you had the buffalo. That was a monumental design in 1913. Then 25 years later, we switched to the Jefferson. So we have the Jefferson design right here, 1938. And the interesting thing about Jefferson are the war nickels. Again, love them or hate them, there's silver in those war nickels. So each war nickel from 1942 to 45 worth about $1.40. So you want to set those aside. So there you go. That's how you get into this hobby. Let's move on to dimes. If you want to become a stacker, somebody that's interested in collecting silver, you're going to look at dimes that are 1964 and prior. And the most interesting design would be the Mercury head. So 1916, they came out with the Mercury dime, and that ran all the way to 1945. Because 1945, the end of World War II, FDR passes away, and we get the new Roosevelt dime in 1946. And those again were silver, 90% silver, and that ran to 1964, all 90% silver. Now 1965 is when we transitioned to clad, so look for dimes 1964 and before. Next step, let's go to quarters. Again, the most interesting would be the Standing Liberty quarter in 1916. Beautiful design. She was topless. They put a shirt on her the next year, but there were some issues in 1916 with no shirt. But the most interesting thing to us and most thing that we're going to be seeing are the Washington quarters. And the Washington quarter that we know and love was only meant to be a one-year design in 1932. There was no quarters in 1931, no quarters in 1933. 1932 was a one-year commemorative of George Washington's birth, 200 years. But come 1934, they decided to continue with the Washington quarter. It went on until 1964, silver, 90%. Then 65, just like the dimes, we converted to clad. So hunt your pre-1964 quarters. Get that silver. My favorite and a lot of people's favorites are the half dollars. So magical year again, 1916, we switched to the standing liberty. That ran till 1948. Franklin came on board. Now, designs are supposed to stay for 25 years, but some tragedy in Dallas, 1963, cut this design short because in 1964 we moved to the John F. Kennedy half dollar, 90% silver for 1 year only, because the very next year, 1965, we switched to 40%. And we continued that till 1970 at 40%. Then come 1971, we went to clad. So half dollars are extremely interesting. So now, those are for the stackers. You have the dimes, the quarters, and the halves. Those are for the silver stackers. If you want to get into more collectible constitutional money, now we're talking about the Morgan dollar and the peace dollar. Again, 1904 is when the Morgan dollar took a break. Let's just say it paused. And it paused until 1921. And in 1921, we had both designs. We had the peace and the Morgan. But majority of the 1921s were actually Morgans. Because then in 1922, we went all in on the peace dollar and ran it till about 1935. So it's an amazing series. And the benefit of finding a mentor that is into coins is you can grow with them, because they're going to do videos about cents, nickels, dimes, quarters, halves, dollars. And you can pick and choose any path that you're interested in. So I'm going to encourage you to find those couple channels, find some mentors, and then become a mentor yourself, right? You're going to watch a bunch of people learn your style, and then to prove that you're absorbing this knowledge, make content and try to adapt it to your mind so that you can explain it to somebody else. All right, guys, this is me. I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys next time.